You are listening to the Live and Level Gamers podcast in association with FullEffectGaming.com. See, we don't play those games. We just play those games. Level Head Game. John Shaw, K-Bomb 20, D2K, Jedi Knight. The Live and Level Gamers podcast, where gamers come to talk.
What's up? This is the Live and Level Gamers podcast. This is a special off-the-cuff Wednesday night podcast. We typically do this on Thursdays. And give me a second, just a sec. Hold up. Had too much air or something in the background. But anyway, this is Live and Level Gamers podcast. This is live YouTube direct to you. Just me and my boy D2K. What's up, D2?
What's going on?
And hopefully a little bit later, John Shaw will be jumping on. But since the PlayStation, Sony and PlayStation had their PlayStation Live today, we thought we'd jump on and discuss all the new reveals, all the information that was laid out for all our listening pleasure. Mark Cerny and all the other people at Sony came out on stage and revealed a whole lot of stuff that we already knew about, but wasn't for sure it was going to come this year. We got the PlayStation Slim, we got the PlayStation 4 Neo, which is now called the Pro. They even talked about VR a little bit, HDR. No, so we got a whole lot to dredge through. So we ain't gonna even do what you've been gaming on, because this is just gonna be hopefully a quick jump on some of these things they talked about and jump off. So, and also Nintendo making big moves today with this whole collab with Apple, I guess. Is it exclusive to Apple?
For right now.
For right now? Okay, so they putting Mario Run, Super Mario Run on iOS, Apple iOS.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be a big deal, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. Make sure you go to FullEffectGaming.com, where all our articles and all our thoughts on some of this stuff is already up. D2K put an article up talking about both Sony and Nintendo drop bombs today. But let's get into this first one, man. Sony and the PlayStation Live event that everybody was anticipating for somewhat. Let me get your first thoughts, man. What did you think? Like as far as the presentation, what they showed, you ain't got to go into detail, but kind of give me what your overall feel of how they demonstrated, and everything that they did.
Well, the presentation was kind of drab. It didn't have any energy. It was kind of lifeless, but it was a meeting. It wasn't a show. It wasn't a conference, so it's not going to have all the glitz and the glamour and all the pizzazz and stuff that you would see at an E3 show or even a Tokyo Game Show, something like that. It was basically just a meeting to basically give you the rundown of what they're about to do in the next few months. So,
okay.
I wasn't looking for it to be, spectacular on my senses in terms of the presentation. The contents of what they talked about was very, very interesting and got me very excited, because I'm a person that doesn't own a PlayStation 4 as of right now. And I've said in previous podcasts that I was going to wait until I found out more about this PlayStation Pro before I made a decision on what I was going to do. And now that I know how much it's going to cost and, you know, what their vision is for it, I might go ahead and pick it up because I don't see a PlayStation 5 coming anytime soon. Because it's just too much hardware out there right now that they have to support. And that would be a very, very, very stupid thing for them to do. I shouldn't even hear about a PlayStation 5 until E3 of 2018. You know, so. But I was surprised that there were some things that kind of surprised me. There's some other things that didn't surprise me. The things that didn't surprise me is the fact that they basically showed off all the games. Well, not showing all the games, but a lot of the games that showed off at E3. And we looked at those games then and we were saying, are these games really running on the PlayStation 4, the regular PlayStation 4? These look really good. You know, but now we see that more than likely most, if not all of those games, the footage that we saw was running on PlayStation 4 Pro. You know, they did show, they said that they were showing, like, for instance, the Days Gone? Is that the zombie game? Is that the name of it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it Days Gone? I know it's what you're talking about. I can't remember right now. I'll look it up. Go ahead.
They were showing footage of that, and they were showing, like, okay, this is what it looks like on a regular PlayStation 4, and then this is what it looks like a PlayStation 4 Pro with the HDR turned on, and I didn't really see much of a difference. I don't know if they forgot to push the button or something, but pretty much the same to me. I think that what we saw at E3 was running on PlayStation 4 Pro, as was a Spider-Man, which looks absolutely gorgeous. I cannot wait to get my hands on that game. I really can't. I've been waiting. This is the Spider-Man game that I've been waiting for ever since they started making video games. You know,
right?
So they did their job with that. There are some interesting things that came out of this that kind of answers a lot of questions and basically shuts up a lot of people. And this is kind of in depth. I don't want to get too technical, but I'll just kind of summarize it to make it make more sense. Mark Cerny, who is the guy that designs the PlayStation hardware, he designed PlayStation 4, he designed the PlayStation 4 Pro. Yeah. He basically came out and talked about the specs of the system, and they pretty much fall in line with the rumors that we heard before. We heard the rumors that the clock speed was going to be up-clocked from 1.6 gigahertz per core to 2.1 gigahertz per core. He didn't give that number, but he said that the clock speed has been increased. He also said they were going to be using
he said they doubled the GPU power of the GPU. I don't know if did he say anything about the CPU?
That's what I'm talking about, the clock speed of the CPU.
Okay.
The GPU, he said they doubled the power of the GPU basically because the I'm not sure how powerful the 7870 was in comparison to what they're probably using. But
he said the AMD, they're using the AMD Polaris, and they even did some stuff beyond that.
Right. Basically, he said that they're using the AMD Polaris GPU now. Yeah. More than likely, this particular GPU that they're using is an adaptation of an RX 470. And the reason why I say that is because the RX 480 retails for $199.99. Now, they would get that probably half that price if they buy it in bulk, if that was the GPU that they were putting in the PlayStation 4 Neo. The PlayStation 4 Neo is going to retail for $399, so it's possible they could have an RX 480. I'm not quite sure. I think they would save a lot of money and probably get the same effects because the T-flops are not too far off from what you can get from a 480, but I think it's probably an RX 470. But the fact that he came out and said that they're using an AMD Polaris card, that's 2 down, 1 to go. Because AMD CEO Lisa Su, in an interview she did a couple of months ago, stated that they had 3 custom designs or semi-custom designs for video game consoles. So now you have the Scorpio, which she said is one of them. And in that interview, she also said that the next one would be for a console releasing later on this year. Obviously, that's PlayStation Pro. So the third one has to be the NX.
Yeah, I agree. I believe that. And I agree. After the Nintendo Direct of last week, I guess we need to talk about that too. That convinced me that all the rumors, everything that Eurogamer, all the stuff that has been coming out, like I said, is either stuff that was planned to be. It might still be, but there's some changes that have happened. So I think that with the NX, there's a lot to be discovered there than what everyone is trying to run with at this moment in time. But
anybody that's still hanging on to this idea that NVIDIA has anything to do with NX needs to be drug out in the street and shot.
Right, I agree. But let's stay with this this PlayStation event. All right, so let's go through, because I wrote down a lot that I picked up. You know, I've been trying to be more professional with making sure I write down stuff that stood out to me. So first of all, we found out that it is $399. It is using the Polaris. So yeah, you kind of ran down. So it's coming out this November. Every leak that we have heard, even down to the drawings that was shown of it, is correct. It was designed just like what one of the leaks showed, that it was the design of it. They drew it on a piece of paper. It looked exactly like what they drew. Right. They have what they call HDR. How you say that? High dynamic
range.
Okay, high dynamic range. Which, if you don't know this stuff, it will sound impressive to you. But if you do any research on modern TVs, any HD 1080p TV, most likely your TV have this on it already. So it's not like Sony is doing something that they couldn't have been done. They just didn't do it. Now they starting to tap into what your TV can do, all of what your TV can do. So, and that's going to play into some stuff that sometimes we have to stop being so wild by all the big words and stuff we don't know, and listen to what they're actually saying and how it doesn't make sense, or is it just a bunch of fluff, because some things they say counter what they just said. And we'll get into that with what was said by the dude. I don't know the dude before Mark Cerny's name.
Andrew House.
Yeah, Andrew House contradicted himself before Andrew Cerny came on, and then went through Mark Cerny. But through Mark Cerny's speech, he contradicted him again. So anyway, so let's see. So what about this system stood out to you? I was impressed. Let me say this. For my opinion, I thought the event was good. Mark Cerny somebody need to see if he is a real person, or is he an android, or some what's that Ultra? We were just talking about that.
MK Ultra.
MK Ultra, and got a hold of him or something, man, on an alternate way. This dude talks like a robot. This dude talks literally like a computer is pumping through his brain and speaking through his mouth. It's weird. It's like it's calm and collected, but at the same time awkward and strange and uncomfortable. So he's soothing you while yet you're uncomfortable. But I thought the presentation was cool. I think Sony, and I just think it's time for us just to admit it, Sony knows how to engage, how to talk to gamers, modern gamers. They know how to appeal to them. All this tech talk, all these specs and all the stuff is the modern gamers' language. This is what they talk. We have been conditioned to be PC heads, like not maybe all of us, but a lot of gamers today want to know what they're buying down to the smallest understood aspects of the system. So when he comes out, he began to talk about the GPU and the CPU and how much they sped up this, and how they doubled the power in that, and how they got Polaris in here, and how they got that. Talks to modern gamers. The gamers of the day gravitate to that lingo. And some that Phil Spencer knows how to do and does well. It's just, I think it's just something. May not have to go as deep as Mark goes. Sometimes he gets to the point that he's just talking over your head. If you ain't a PC building type person, I'm pretty sure D2K can keep up with him on all this stuff. I can't, but I know TVs. I know how TVs function. So when he got to talk about the HDR, I was like, that's already in TVs. That's already there for you to take advantage of. That's been there. So that didn't impress me. So anyway, I think they got the way to approach gamers of today down packed. Sony got it.
Mm-hmm.
They still born, but they know what to say to keep you kind of thrilled and excited for what they're bringing out, even if it's a lot of fluff to it. Right. I say the same thing with myself. I think this is something, and we go to Nintendo later, but I think this is something that Nintendo could learn from in their presentation. I know they don't like talking specs, but in today's market and dealing with today's gamers, I think it's something that Nintendo might have to start incorporating that into their dialogue. Anyway, what do you think about that? Like, do you feel like Sony knows the heartbeat of today's gamer? I think they do.
Most definitely. And that's one. Sony is an entertainment company first and foremost, so they know how to entertain people, more than Microsoft and Nintendo do. They like you said, they do understand their fan base better than I think Microsoft does. It's really hard to get my mind wrapped around Sony because there were some things that they did that I thought were awesome. Some things that they did, I'm like, I didn't have to do that. For one thing, the PlayStation 4 Pro looks like a Big Mac. It's a horrible looking design. I don't know why it has to be bigger. I don't know if that has anything to do with the graphics card that's in there. It shouldn't. It just looks.
I think it does. I think they had to make it bigger and bulkier to handle, I guess, what they put. It looks like a PlayStation with another level to it, like another like that design. It just added another. I don't even know what you would call it. Piece of bread, another top to it.
Yeah,
it's weird, but hey, the PlayStation 2 is a strange design too. So
that was kind of
a strange design.
Yeah, they've not been the best in terms of aesthetics when it comes to actual console design, but they've done their job in terms of what the console is supposed to do, and that's one thing that Sony has had down packed, and they understand that. They understand what it is the gamers want, and they give it to them. They don't try to force something that they think the gamers want or they think the gamers should want down their throat. They just say, you want this? Here it is. And the PlayStation 4 is it is the crowning jewel of that philosophy. Because they literally went to third parties and said, what type of console do you want? And they told them, and they said, okay, there it is. They built it precisely how they wanted it. So, yeah, Sony, they definitely understand better than the other two how to cater to their fans.
Yeah. Do you like the name Pro? Like,
I for some reason, I think I heard that somebody mentioned that before a long time ago, like several months ago. I heard somebody say it might be called Pro. I'm not sure where I heard that before, but it turned out to be right. But I guess, for what it is, what they said that it's supposed to do. They're saying this is not a next gen console. This is basically an elite console. How we have elite controllers. This is an elite console. People who want the absolute best of the best from Sony, this is what you get. It's a PlayStation Pro. If you want the medium ground PlayStation, get the regular PlayStation 4. If you want a cheaper PlayStation 4, you get the Slim, even though the only thing that's really missing is the optical port. I don't think there's anything else missing other than that. But there's something that I heard about the PlayStation 4 Pro that I find kind of confusing. I don't know if this is true or not because it wasn't coming from them themselves, it was coming from someone else. But apparently, the PlayStation 4 Pro does not
play 4K Blu-rays.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
And I'm like,
wow. Well, I was gonna say that for later on, like all the things that has came out, because we still got to talk about the PlayStation Slim, but the name, I like Neo better. I like the PlayStation Neo, but actually Pro makes sense, and you pretty much hit it on the nail. Like if they're going with this whole message for this system is for the hardcore gamer, this is for the true dedicated gamer who wants the highest possible experience ever. You know, you got the 4K TV, you have all this because you really invest in your gaming. This is the counsel for you. Like that narrative, that really sums up in Pro, like PlayStation 4 Pro.
Right.
It really captures exactly the idea behind what the Neo, what the Pro is, and I think it's clever. I think it's a smart. You kind of, because everybody think they real gamers. You know what I'm saying? And you know, a lot of us, not all of us, but a lot of us got to keep up with the Joneses type of mentality, to where now that this system is out, everybody's going to be clamoring, especially PlayStation 4 loyalists are going to be clamoring to get this PlayStation 4 Neo. So this goes into the next question, you know, because I think both of us are okay with the name PlayStation Pro. It flows off the tongue. It makes sense. It's easily understood. You know that this is a higher level PlayStation 4 than the Slim or the base model. So you know there's the base model, then there's the Pro, and the Pro says it all for you. So price. Do you think they hit the sweet spot with the price? You think it's priced right for the marketplace, $399?
Yes, I think that we all pretty much said that it needs to be no more expensive than $399, considering that the PlayStation VR headset, the cost of that, you want to keep that price as low as possible so that people can look at Sony as the better alternative for VR versus HTC Vive and Oculus and, you know, all that type of stuff. Okay. So I think that this is probably the best price you could probably have. And like I said, if they want to make a profit on this, I don't think they will go ahead with the most powerful Polaris card that's out there, which is the RX 480. I think they'll go with the 470 because 470 is pretty. They might dial it back a bit because the 470 is capable of 5 teraflops, and this console is capable of 4.2 teraflops. So it's either that, or maybe they went with the RX 460, which is a very cheap card, but still has the ability to do 4K, still has the ability to do VR, and maybe they found a way to bump up the power of that particular card, and that would save them even more money. So it'll be interesting to find out once somebody does all the math to find out how much money Sony, how much it costs to manufacture this console. Then you can find out how much profit they're making or how much loss they're taking, and then you can kind of extrapolate from there what the probable card is of the three that they have in there.
Okay. Yeah, I think the price was good. I think wasn't the original PlayStation 4 $399?
Yep.
So I mean, if you rushed out and bought the original PlayStation 4 at launch for $399, and you had it for 3 years now, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna have some special trade-in perk or something where you trade in your PlayStation 4, you get so much. They probably give you $200 for it, and then you drop another $200. Now you got the PlayStation Neo. I mean, yeah, I think the pricing was right on the money, and I think they'll be able to drop that price probably this time next year. I mean, by holiday of next year, if they wanted to counter Scorpio. You know, that's a possibility. I ain't saying they will. I'm just saying for, you know, through a holiday season.
I don't know if they'll do it that fast.
Yeah, as I'm saying, I'm just saying it's wishful thinking, but there's just for like what Xbox did with the one, they dropped it down $50 just for what it's supposed to be only for the holiday season, and then it was supposed to go back up to its normal price. But when they went back up, they quickly brought it back down because of the outcry. And Sony might not do it like that for that reason, but I can see them kind of contemplating it. Maybe, I don't know. But $399 is a pretty good, reasonable price. I don't see nothing wrong with that for what you get.
Yeah.
So PlayStation Slim. What do you think? Like, did it kind of get overshadowed here? I would say yeah, but what do you think? Did it kind of?
I mean, for those of us who are in the know, the people like us who are gamers, we already knew the PlayStation Slim was coming. We already pretty much guessed what the price would be, so it really wasn't anything that they could say that would add to it. We actually saw the whole thing. We saw a guy hook it up to a TV and plug it in. So we saw the controller. So it is what it is. I don't think it got overshadowed because we'd already seen it before. This whole event was about Neo. It was about Pro. That's all we came there to see was the Pro. I really didn't even need to hear about the Slim because it wasn't important. I wanted to hear about the Pro. What is it about? What does it do? How much does it cost? When does it come out? So it did get overshadowed, but nobody cares.
Yeah, it kind of was like, let's get this out the way because ain't nobody gonna focus once we say this the Pro. Ain't nobody gonna focus on.
He was talking. I'm sitting there like, yeah, come on, yeah. Well, let's move it along here. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah,
and you knew he was about to skip on because he started that off as soon as he got to talking. The Slim came out of his mouth early, so you was like, well, that's. And you knew VR wasn't a big surprise. So I was like, they finna actually reveal the PlayStation Neo, and it was. They didn't waste no time. I give them that too. They didn't waste no time getting to the point. Basically the sum of the reason we was there. That was the PlayStation Pro.
Yep.
So $299. I think they could have dropped that price a little bit more. I think they could have went to $250. I think the PlayStation 4 has been out long enough to where they can, and these are off the shelf parts, so it ain't like they still playing crazy amounts for what's in that hardware. I think they could have dropped the price a little bit more than $299.
When you figure that the only difference is that it's the only thing that it lacks that the original PlayStation 4 has is an optical port. Does an optical port cost $50?
No, I'm just saying.
I'm saying that so like it should be cheaper than $299.
Yeah. I just think I'm not even equating that into why I'm saying that this system been on the market long enough. We know that it's at 40 million already with the current model with the slimming it down and all that stuff. It seems like it should be even more efficient and designed even better and more, I guess, adequate. I think they can drop the price. I don't think they had to. I don't think $100 difference.
What they could have done is they probably could have lowered the price to original PlayStation to $299, and then have the Slim at like $250 at the most, maybe even $200.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And maybe have something a little bit less something in there. The original PlayStation should go down to at least $300. I would say that it should at least.
Yeah, it's still. Well, they discontinuing, like they're not making that model no more, right? Like the Slim was supposed to replace the current model.
Maybe I have not heard that from anywhere.
That's what I thought. That's what he said. This is going to be our. How did he put it? Basically, this is the new revised model. This is going to be the model from here on out. That's how he said it, kind of, when he was talking about the Slim.
Well, if they're doing that, then okay, then that's fine. Because
right,
yeah.
So I'm thinking, first of all those folks who didn't buy the PlayStation 4, and don't have 4K TVs, the PlayStation 4 Pro is gonna sell. I can see it selling like hotcakes for all those who own the PlayStation 4 that call themselves real gamers, hardcore gamers, true Sony fans. They're going to buy the PlayStation 4 Pro. They already are making the moves to trade in. They already prepping themselves to move up to the next level, next tier system. But all those who are on the fence, don't have the TVs to really take advantage of the 4K and all that stuff, I think a good incentive to bring those folks into the PlayStation family would be to drop the PlayStation 4 Slim to $250. That is a perfect. I bet you they still making money. Are they coming out even? Right. To me, I don't know. I think that'd be a better price range than $299.
It probably would, and you can actually look at it from this standpoint that maybe the PlayStation Slim, that could be the PlayStation for the kids, but the Pro is for the adults. Kids can have a Slim in their room or they den or whatever they play video games, but the Pro, that's daddy's.
Right. That would be the case in my house. I wouldn't go get the Slim at all. I would give my son the PlayStation 4 that I have, and I would get the Pro if I was going to do that. I'm not going to do that, but if I was in a Sony like that, that would be my plan, because I feel like they did what they had to do. Now, one of the negatives, of course, is no Blu-ray, 4K Blu-ray, but we're gonna say that. What'd you say his name? Mark what?
Cerny, the robot guy.
No, not Mark Cerny. The dude before him. Not Mark Cerny. I'm sorry, but
Andrew House.
Andrew House made a statement. John Shaw called it too. I didn't even know he had called it. I just saw it on Twitter, and I hope he jumps in here. But he made a statement saying that the PlayStation 4 has basically maxed out what a 1080p TV can do. And when he said that, first of all, I started laughing. Because I was like, the audacity to play on people's ignorance and the fact that some people actually is going to believe that statement was hilarious to me. First of all, if anybody want to see what a 1080p TV can do, get you a Blu-ray, go buy any of the latest Disney or DreamWorks or Pixar. Well, I think that's what that all those, buy one of those animations and put it in and tell me what PlayStation 4 game looks like that. When you tell me, when you can show me a game that looks like some of these animated cartoons that comes on Blu-rays, when you can show me a PlayStation 4 that looks that vibrant, that clear and colorful, then you can make that statement. And then they contradict the statement by saying that if you don't have a 1080, if you don't have a 4K TV, you still should be interested in buying a PlayStation 4 Pro because it's going to make your 1080p shine even more. And I'm like, wait a minute. Didn't you just say that y'all with the PlayStation 4 that's out right now with no HDR on it is maxing out 1080p? But then you're going to tell me to buy the PlayStation Pro to get even more out of my 1080p. So Sony, which one is it? You know what I'm saying? And then they let us know that they're going to be upgrading all PlayStation 4s, the one we have right now, the Slim, and the PlayStation 4 Pro with HDR, high dynamic range, which is basically allowing you to get the full totality of what the color grid on your TV can do, the brights, the darks, the deep darks, the brights, all that. That's already on your TV. It's just they making stuff to really tap into the color grid on your TV. I got a DLP down here, Mitsubishi DLP that has all that on it, and that's how I noticed of my. I got a 4K upstairs with a 2K that upscales to 4K. Does the same thing. So high HDR is already on your TV. It's just if you got the right Blu-ray player that takes advantage of all these things. That was what was so awesome about the PlayStation 3. It had a lot of those bells and whistles that you can tweak and get the most out of your TV, where the PlayStation 4 doesn't have all that stuff. They might just be reintroducing some of those little tweakable things that they was allowing you to do with the PlayStation 3 that they don't allow you to do with this PlayStation 4. So let me get your thoughts on that, man. Like Mark then was trying to play clever with words.
Well, I mean, they're spin doctors, they're snake oil salesmen. All these CEOs and presidents and vice presidents and speakers do that. They basically have to spin their product to make it seem like it's so much better than the competition, even though it's the same. You know, they basically, like you said, you caught. I mean, I didn't notice it at first when I sat back and thought about it. I was like, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. Why? I mean, what is the point of the Pro if I can get the same type of graphics on a regular 1080p TV? You know, I mean, you're saying I can get the same. That's basically saying that, yeah, you need to get the Pro in order to get these types of graphics. But if you have a regular PlayStation, or if you have a regular TV, you can still have the PlayStation Pro and get the same kind of graphics just about. So if I already have a PlayStation 4 and I have a 4K TV, why bother? Why do I come out of my pocket with another $400? You know,
right?
You know, so like, it's just. I mean, if they're adding a high dynamic range to all the systems, you know, so it's. I mean, it's. I don't know. I mean, stuff like that kind of makes me just lost for words. I don't even know how to even explain it.
It's because, like I said, this is when someone was trying too hard. they already want, like, Sony already, far as people's intrigue and want for the PlayStation Pro, they won that. That's already there. They don't have to do much else more convincing. What they showed, and I have a PlayStation 4, so I'm able to go, and I'm going to do that when I get off here. I'm going to go watch the actual 4K level of the visuals for Horizon Dawn of Horizon. Is it Horizon Dawn?
Zero Dawn.
Yeah, Zero Dawn, and all the other games that they showed, even down to, and I like this fact. Oh, let's talk about this as well. We'll get to there in a second. But I can go see the actual 4K footage to where what we were seeing at that time was still 1080p. We wasn't even seeing 4K. So the fact that Horizon Zero Dawn looked that much better, and we only getting a YouTube feed that goes up to probably 720p 1080i, you're not even getting real full 1080p in most cases, and it still looked that much better than what we seen back in the day. The colors was there. That means they can already do that on your 1080p. You didn't see 4K yet. So I know 4K is going to be that much more better, but even what we saw with them opening up the colors and the way that they can, that showed me that you haven't tapped all of what the 1080p can do, because we're still looking at sub 1080p graphics or resolution through YouTube, and it still look like a nice increase in visuals than what was there before. So,
but to add to that, you know, we were just talking about in the previous podcast about how these companies basically have not maxed out the potential of, or they come anywhere close to even maxing out the potential of the Xbox One or the PlayStation 4. True. And we're sitting here looking at games that are running at sub 30 frames per second frame rates, and you know, 1080 or 720p still in certain games, 900p in certain games, you know, janky frame rates. There's no way in the world that Sony can stand there and say that they've maxed out the PlayStation 4 for 1080p TVs. That's absolute horse crap. Absolute horse crap.
It is, but you know it's gonna be some people out there, man. They are maxed out 1080p. I gotta go get a 4K. That's like,
and that was the sales pitch right there. Buy our TVs.
Yeah, that's what it is.
That's what it was. There was a tongue-in-cheek promotion for them to go out and buy 4K TVs because you say we can't get this type of experience unless you have a 4K TV, which is a lie.
And then turn around D2K and then say, just in case you don't want to jump to 4K TV, look at what the system can do to your 1080p. Like, it's like who? I'm like who?
You gotta give them props for their creativity because they like I said, the spin doctor knows how to basically, steal your draws while you talking to them and don't even realize that you did it. You walk away like man, you have a conversation with them. You walk away like, man, it's drafty out here. So like
it's like when Jay-Z said, I can sell water to a well. I am a hustler. I can sell fire and hell, something like that. He said, but I mean, that was just one of them slap yourself moments right there, man. Like anybody with any common sense should have caught that.
And you know what is that I don't listen to his channel, and I never will because he is. I can only imagine what hip-hop.
Don't you say what they. I knew what you was going to say, man.
I can only imagine.
I thought we was gonna get away with not saying his name at all today, man. I don't even want to go to. I don't follow him. I follow him on Twitter, but I don't follow his YouTube no more. I can't do it.
It's gonna be get your popcorn ready. It's gonna be high grade comedy. Listen to the guy talk about this all this stuff.
Now that you want to say it, I guess I'll probably go over there and check it out just to get some laughs out. But what did you think about the forward compatibility? I thought that was pretty cool. The whole like what they doing is they saying all your games with this HDR and with the PlayStation 4 Pro, we're calling it forward compatibility because all your games are going to be able to tap into this HDR. Meaning, so this high dynamic ratio that they're introducing, they're going to upgrade through a pretty much a form where update on your system all the games that you have, because they showed Uncharted 4, and I know that scene that they showed doesn't look like that currently, but when they update your system with the HDR capability, your game that you have is going to be able to tap into the HDR, and they're calling it forward compatibility, like backwards compatibility, but they're calling it forward compatibility. What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, that's a cool thing. I mean, if it works the way they plan, you can take the games you already have and have a fresher experience with, being clearer and more dynamic and more crisp and everything. So, I mean, that's pretty cool. I mean, I kind of missed. I wasn't paying attention to that part. I mean, I heard it obviously as I watched the show, but it was going so fast. It was so exciting. There's a lot of bits and pieces that I missed out on. And I stated that in my blog too. It was like it was so much stuff going on today in general. I was like, it was hard for me to get my thoughts together. I'm like, I can't believe my head was just spinning. Like, what is going on here? All this stuff. But we'll get into that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that was basically. I mean, outside of the games, like I said, if you got a PlayStation 4, you can go and actually see the best quality of those videos that they show for the PlayStation Pro. And if you don't, I'm pretty sure you can Google it and find some website that's actually playing the 4K version of the game, so you can see actually what it would look like in 4K. I think that'll be something that all you guys listening might want to investigate to kind of see, if there's something you feel like you're missing out on, if it's something you don't really need. Right now, for me, it ain't nothing that's gonna make me go out and sell my PlayStation 4 to buy the PlayStation Neo. It ain't not for me.
I got a couple of friends who work at GameStop. I'm gonna call them and ask them what kind of deals have they heard, because they may not know yet, because there's supposed to be a GameStop conference pretty soon, like the next week or so.
Okay,
and they might be hearing about it there, about what type of trade-in deals they might have in regards to the Neo I keep saying the Neo, but the Pro.
It just sounds so.
You know what? If they were just going to keep that little acronym there, they probably could have kept Neo. It still kind of sounded cool, but we already talked about Pro does work.
Yeah, and I'm pretty like I said, Pro makes sense. It pretty much sums up the whole concept, the idea surrounding this system. So, but let's move on, man. That was so Sony. To me, let's give it a grade. What would you give it? Like out of what grade would you give it?
Well, I mean, I'll give it a B- because of the outright contradictions that they said in the whole thing. They kind of brought everything down. It wasn't even necessary for them to even say those things. You know, they just kind of like we were talking about before we went on the air is that when you talk too much, eventually you start telling yourself. So just be quick to the point. Here it is. This is what it can do. This is how powerful it is. How much it costs. See you later. That's all they need to do.
Yeah, they didn't have to say that. So I also go with I'm gonna go with a flat B. I think they did exactly what they needed to do. Of course, Sony has to add some fluff in there to make you to appeal to you even the more and persuade you to jump on the bandwagon. But I just had to tilt my hat, man. To me, as boring as Sony can be at times with listening to their stuff, they are saying the stuff that you kind of want to hear. I don't need all of it. I don't have to know all the specs, but these are now that I understand what goes into making a system. Now that I understand, why power is important to certain things, some of this information is important to me as a gamer, and they give it to me. I don't need that all, but I need more than other folks are willing to, release.
I would rather have more than what I need than not have enough.
Right. There you go. And I feel like Sony basically done was exactly what they needed to do. And if you and after watching it, you knew if you was going to get the PlayStation Pro or not. And just listening to the sentiments of people online, and it seemed like a lot of people were pleased with it.
I don't know. I mean, to me, I've seen it's kind of 50-50. Some people are like, no, thank you. And other people are like, I'm going out to get. I'm going out to get in line today. I'm getting in line today.
Okay, well, most of the folks I've seen, they pretty much was in favor, positive. Maybe not going to get it, but it was a lot of positive vibe around the conference. Now, the bad thing was no Blu-ray 4K, and I guess we can end on that. Like, this could hurt. Do you think this can hurt? Not having a 4K Blu-ray?
Well, I mean, Sony didn't say that, did they? I mean, I know Microsoft said it because they were salty about what happened today, and they had to fire back with something. So did Sony come out and say that there's no Blu-ray in there, or did somebody else say that?
I think they said it. I think this is what I think happened because there's too many websites confirming it. I think Sony made sure that they didn't say it during the live press conference, but I'm pretty sure afterwards, the question was asked, and I think Sony said no.
I think it's not. I mean, it's not necessary because if you think about it, we just got through saying that this is the ultimate pro game machine. So, Blu-ray movies is not absolutely necessary in terms of actually playing the games.
Right.
So I think that maybe that's the reason why they said we're not going to add to the price of this console because because initially the reports that this console is going to be $450, and that $50, that $450, that $50 might have actually been the Blu-ray player, and somebody might have said, you know what, we don't even need to put this in here because we're going to sell. If this is our narrative that this is the ultimate game machine, then we don't need to have a 4K Blu-ray player in there.
Right, and the truth of the matter is, it's really not a 4K. It don't really play 4K. It upscales the game to 4K and is taking advantage of HDR. So it's not actually a 4K system. It's just able to take advantage of some of the capability of 4K TVs.
Right.
So it's actually the same disc that you putting in your system now is going to probably be the same disc that these games are on for the PlayStation Pro. It's just going to allow it to tap into a few bells and whistles to make that visual fidelity a lot better on 4K TV. So it might not technically be a 4K. It ain't a 4K. It's really not a 4K machine,
Right.
if we be technical. So why put a 4K Blu-ray player in it and probably cause the price of the system to spike up at least at the bare minimum 50. I would even go up another 100 if it's trying to put a 4K Blu-ray in there. I would probably say they'd probably have to charge $4.99 for it to make it be worthwhile. So yeah, it seems like it makes more sense to forego 4K Blu-ray, and that just only proves that we really ain't there with the technology, to be honest with you.
So my guess, so my question to that was that for Microsoft, well, they probably could have sold the Xbox One Slim for a lot cheaper.
Yeah. It's how much is a Slim? Ain't it like $250? Or is it $299 too?
I don't know.
Man, that's something I need to look up. But so let's move on. That's enough about the PlayStation event. We give it a B and a B minus. I thought they did their thing. You thought they did pretty good. So I'm happy with it. No complaints outside of the spinnery and the bamboozling of maxing out 1080p TVs. But outside of that, I think they was pretty cool. Somebody need to pull the computer card out of Mark Cerny, but outside of that, I think it was all right. So let's go on here because I didn't know nothing about this, so I'm gonna have to lean on you a little bit. But after watching the event, I started seeing all this Mario stuff coming out of nowhere, like, and I'm like, what's going on with Mario? And I seeing them on iPhones and all this stuff, and come to find out that Nintendo, at the same day, kind of tried to upstage Sony by bringing the icon himself, Mario, to Apple. So I'm gonna lean on your knowledge because I don't know all what's going on with it. So take the lead. Go ahead.
Well, I didn't see the conference at all because I woke up, I think after it was over. I woke up like around 1 o'clock, so it was just in time to see the Sony thing. But I went online and I mean, I had to rub my eyes for a second there because I'm like, am I seeing what I think I'm seeing? I'm like, this is not. I thought I was still asleep. I thought, how you think you woke, but you still sleep just before you wake up. Sometime. That's right. What it felt like. Because I'm like, am I seeing it's the thing that really makes this crazy is that this is something nobody saw coming. I did remember hearing someone in terms of advertising for this Apple event that people were saying you've got to see this one. It wasn't just because of the iPhone 7. It was because they said there's something really big that's going to happen at this event. And I didn't pay any mind to it because I didn't think anything like this could happen. But Shigeru Miyamoto walks out on stage at this show. Let me repeat that. Shigeru Miyamoto walks out on stage at an Apple press event to reveal Super Mario Run. Now, the game itself, to me, looks like a mixed mash of New Super Luigi U and New Super Mario Bros. 2 on the 3DS, from the standpoint that the boards are timed, where you have a very short period of time to get through the whole board. They basically run through the whole thing, and there's the coin aspect of New Super Mario Bros. 2. It's not as much coin aspect, but you have to connect a lot of coins and follow the coin trail to get to the end of the board and stuff like that. I mean, it's perfect for a mobile game because it's a game that it's simple, it's to the point, it's fast, it's something it's addictive gameplay. I can see you be playing over and over and over, trying to beat your score, trying to beat your time. It's absolutely brilliant. This is going to make Nintendo hundreds of millions of dollars.
So do you think this is the new Pokemon Go?
What? Well, it might is. Well, I don't know. I mean, but that's another thing. They also announced Pokemon or Pokemon Go for the watch. I think it was for the Apple Watch or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So now Pokemon Go also is going to be on iOS systems, or the watch, I should say, the Apple Watch, which is a hot thing right now. But we all now everybody who's listening to me right now, you've either said yourself or you've heard someone say, "Boy, I really wish Nintendo would put a Mario game on iOS." And to a certain extent, once we knew that Nintendo was actually going to break down that barrier and actually go there to start doing mobile games, that we figured that they would probably put some of their lower tier IP on there, nothing big, maybe a Kid Icarus or something like that. They would never put a Mario game on an Apple system, but they said, we're going balls to the walls. We're putting our flagship title on iOS. What?
Yeah.
I mean,
go finish. No.
It is just like the brazenness and the testicular fortitude to do that, to stand on stage and just like, what? I mean, it was just so brash of Nintendo, and to me, that said a whole lot. What happened today spoke so many volumes about Nintendo. To me, it one said that Nintendo is listening to the fan base. Thank God they are listening.
I was finna say, we should do an episode where we just talk about all the things that we thought Nintendo would never do that they're starting to do.
That could be a future. And the other thing is that this was a shot fired across the bow of Microsoft and Sony. This is letting them know that, like, hey, it's not sweet, it's not fun anymore, and you better get your lunch pail because it's time to go to work. Because this, and it's so effortless. This game they probably make this game in a couple of months, if that.
Yeah, they basically just took this. They just took new Super Mario formula, put in where Mario is automatically running, and you basically timing your jumps by motion that touching the screen, and depending on how I was watching the game. So this is just my thoughts. I know he's running automatically, but I guess determine how hard you press the screen determines how high Mario jumps. So subtle taps, short jumps, hard taps, large jumps. So it's probably going to be a very addictive game. And knowing Nintendo, they going to put probably more in the game than what a typical mobile game would have in it, And it kind of makes sense to why Nintendo been going after all these, I guess, what would you call them, indie developers who have been kind of using their IPs and, taking like the Metroid game that got taken down and other games that's been taken down, because I think Nintendo, if Mario is any sign of anything, Nintendo is going to be doing a whole lot with these IPs. Even though they said they wasn't going to do this, they're doing it. And I think Pokemon Go showed them that there's a whole bunch of money to be made real fast here. And
it's not sweet. It really ain't. I mean, just all this money that Nintendo is about to make and doing very little effort. And guess what? We haven't even heard about the NX yet. I mean, think about it.
And the thing about it is to make me wonder if it's any rush to show it.
And that's another thing I'm talking about. Go ahead.
Well, Sony already is. I heard somebody. I don't know where I heard this at, but I heard that Sony wants their own Pokemon Go like mobile game phenomenon.
They're salty about that. I saw Kaz Harai was talking about that about the success of Pokemon Go and said we need something
Yeah,
like that.
so it is true because that's what I heard. Like,
Yeah,
they all were sitting back, like taken back by how successful Pokemon Go was, and how it basically overnight became a phenomenon that literally took over everything in gaming. Like this, like the PlayStation 4 Pro is not finna get on some of these talk shows and all these shows, but Pokemon Go was everywhere. You saw it on ESPN First Take, you saw it on the morning show, you saw it on the late night shows, you saw it everywhere. Everybody was talking about Pokemon Go. That's all free advertising for Nintendo.
Seeing it spoofed on in cartoons and stuff, stuff like that. It's like, even I think The Simpsons did something about it. I mean, it's everybody's talking about it. That's how big it was, and now I guess Nintendo realized that since we got everybody's attention, we have to come just as nasty.
Hold on, B2K. What you doing here? We about to end. No, go ahead. Go on, just play.
Nah. I just popped in just in case you need some input from a Sony side of things.
We're done with that now. Too bad.
Go ahead. Finish what you were saying up, D2. I'll be right back.
Yeah. It was amazing to see this whole thing play out like this, because to me, I got so excited when I saw it, because it means they're listening, it means they're ready to play big boy ball, and it did, and it kind of helped Nintendo, because a lot of people were starting to get a little disenchanted, people were starting to get a little upset, because I'm tired of waiting, I'm sick of waiting to end this, forget, I don't even care anymore. Something like this can stoke the fire a little bit, say, oh, okay, all right, that's cool, still waiting for the NX though, but I can hear about this. This is pretty cool too. And in a roundabout way, what Sony did today actually helped Nintendo as well, because the fact that we were sitting here saying, "Oh, can Nintendo market the NX properly within 6 months if they reveal it this month?" Now, Sony had been just as quiet about PlayStation Pro as Nintendo has been about the NX, and yet they announced it today, and it's coming out in 2 months, less than 2 months. Yeah. So that to me shows you that Sony actually bought Nintendo some time too with that. So I think that they're in a good position right now versus just a couple of days ago. People were starting to, like, I don't know about this Nintendo.
Yeah, I mean, I think Nintendo with this announcement, Nintendo has bought themselves some time. They ain't got to rush. It's like, wow, you're really just curious what Nintendo is doing, because this Apple situation just came out of nowhere. No one was expecting this. I didn't hear no rumors on this.
Super Mario run thing.
Yeah, Super Mario Run on Apple iOS.
Yeah, I saw that.
Like, this came out of nowhere. Well, so I mean, Nintendo is doing some big things on the mobile side of things, and it's yet to be seen how effective and how financially blissful this is going to be for them. This might be something that makes Nintendo some real good cheese, you know what I'm saying? So, but since K-Bomb is here, let's get his thoughts on the PlayStation 4 or the PlayStation Live event today. We'll give you 20 minutes to kind of share your thoughts, and then we'll get out of here, man.
Sony had a press conference today. Oh man, I didn't even.
You didn't? Oh well, okay. Well, we can go ahead and then. Go ahead.
Man, no, I'm not gonna need 20 minutes, brother. Don't even give me all that.
No, I'll give you that.
No.
Okay. You got 10 seconds. Go.
All right, 10 seconds. Cool.
Time's up. Sorry.
HDRs, like I say, and what? And PS4 sandwich. That's what they showed me. They gave me a whole bunch of stuff about 4K, which I didn't care about to begin with. You said a whole bunch of stuff about HDR, and then you're gonna slide at the end that the PS4 regular is gonna have HDR too. So yeah, okay. They try to slide that on in.
It's already there in your TVs, man. It's already there. It's just not being taken advantage of. Go ahead.
Right. They try to, but it's
But
a
it's
selling
maxed out
point
though.
for the pro. It's a selling point for the pro because you spend 5 minutes on the pro talking about HDR, and then you're gonna slide it in towards the end of the press conference that PS4 is gonna have a HDR doing a patch. Like, come on, man. Come
So
on, man.
have you? Let me ask you because I haven't done it yet. Have you went on to the PlayStation 4 and actually watched the 4K videos of these games?
No, that I haven't done yet because
Okay.
I was at work and I was streaming on my iPhone and the quality wasn't that great. I was looking at Twitch, so I saw almost no difference when they were switching between 4K
Yeah, I didn't
and
either.
1080p. But I was on my phone, so I'm like, maybe it's my phone. And I've been doing grown man stuff, so I haven't had a chance to look at it yet, people. So excuse me for not having to look at it before I hop on the podcast. I'm doing grown man stuff. But I want to get a
Man,
chance to
I
look.
haven't either.
You said what?
I haven't looked at it yet either. I'm gonna do it when I get off.
Yeah, but I wanted to look at it first and see if there's truly a difference before I really pass true judgment. But I do have to say this. To me, I know we were talking about how this is next gen. This is a new console. This isn't a new console. This is next gen. This is all they're doing is making things slightly better. I mean, yeah, 4K is going to look better, but it's nowhere. It's not. I don't think it's even how the PS4 looked compared to PS3. Because you can definitely you
No.
definitely could tell the PS4 to PS3 because there was texture, there was lighting, it was polygon still. You really saw a difference. It wasn't as big as the PS2 to PS3, but you still saw a difference. I don't think you're going to see that big of a difference, man. That's going to be difference, especially when you look at PS4 games and some PC games of the same title. You see differences, but it's not anything that I thought would require a new system upgrade. So I wasn't excited about it. I looked at my screen, and just like those claps you heard during the live screen, it was like 4 people clapping. That's how I felt in my head.
So that's kind of crazy. Me and D2K kind of had a whole different. So let me go. Okay, let me get your grade. Like, what grade do you give it?
That press conference, like I said, maybe because I came in about 15 to 17 minutes in after they had
So
already started.
you just saw Mark Cerny then?
I looked through Engadget because they had wrote about it, so I went through Engadget and saw that, but I didn't see anything. And for one thing, hold up, why would that dude talking like he's about to molest your children? That had me freaked out. And the PlayStation.
That's how Mark's
Pro.
talk, man. That's what we were talking about. He
I'm
talk
hey,
like
bro, like you
You'll be
about to
using the AMD Polaris architecture.
he sounds like a computer. You ever seen iRobot?
Yeah.
I think it was I Wrote the Computer. He's calming you down at the same time, freaking you out. It's like, okay, I don't know what to do here because I'm calm, because his voice is soothing, but at the same time, this is kind of freaky.
What are you doing, Dave?
Man, I'm telling you, man.
He does sound like somebody that.
He sounds like an evil AI or some evil artificial
like
intelligence.
A computer, man. He sounds like he ain't even really talking like somebody.
I didn't like it. I felt uncomfortable. I felt uncomfortable the whole time. I just felt uncomfortable. He sounded like a dude who's like super mad, but he's trying to act real chill. But you tell he about to snap at any moment because you done yelled at him 25 times, and this is the last time you're gonna yell at him, and he just trying to keep from snapping. Like that's how I feel. Like he about to shoot up the entire building if you say anything to him. I didn't like it.
He does have a like it's a computer hacked into him and they typing words and it's saying it. That's how he sounds.
I didn't like it. Okay, we said about grade. I remember the other podcast I was on, I said they have to give me a reason to buy a PS4 at that point. Neo, now Pro. Did they give me a reason to buy a PS4 Pro? Heck no. I don't have a 4K TV. I don't have a TV that's going to utilize HDR. Yes, a terabyte hard drive, but I have a 1.5 terabyte hard drive on my PlayStation already. Yes, games
Well,
are
your
going to look
TV
better.
will use HDR. Your TV will use HDR.
I mean, yeah, but I'm not going to spend an extra.
No. Yeah, I got you for the PlayStation
It's not
4
worth it.
Pro. Yeah.
And they haven't been clear on is it upscaling 4K? Is it true 4K? And
My guess is that it's upscaling. Otherwise, it would have said it was native. If it was native, they would have said so.
Upscaling. It's not. That's why they don't have a 4K Blu-ray in it.
Which is bull crap because you're Sony. But I don't know, man. If I was getting a VR system, I would definitely get the Pro. I mean, no questions asked. Just because of the benefits because you need a better system for VR. I'm sorry, you just do. If I was getting the VR system, no doubt getting the Pro, no questions asked. Since I'm most likely not, because I have a wife and I like to keep her in nice stuff. I don't know if the upgrade. I mean, the price is not bad, to be honest. $399 is not bad. It's not a bad price. But I didn't see enough benefits, man. I mean, did you guys see enough benefits? I mean, I wasn't here at the beginning. I was, doing grown man stuff again.
Well, D2K, go ahead.
Man, you said this man was at church. You talking about doing the grown man thing? What's going on?
I mean, handling my business, man. I wasn't trying to get my business, man. I'm teaching.
Well, he was taking somebody to church.
Church, trying to spread the gospel. So I mean, grown man means to me. When I say grown man stuff, I mean responsibility.
Okay.
Responsibility. Okay. Grown man stuff. I mean, I'm taking care of my responsibility that I have.
Okay.
Before everything else. So that's what I mean by that. My bad.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's I can't really say anything other than what I said. I mean, for me, I don't have a PlayStation 4, so it's a plus for me to wait until now to get the PlayStation Pro versus the other systems. I mean, I don't see a reason for me to get the regular PlayStation or PlayStation Slim.
True that. I
but for somebody who already has a regular PlayStation, I can't see a reason for them to upgrade. Because it's not, like you said, it doesn't have a 4K Blu-ray player. It's not native 4K. So if you really want to get 4K gaming native, you need to either buy a high-end PC,
or wait for the
Scorpio. If it supposedly has native 4K gaming, we don't know that for sure. Yep. That's what Microsoft says, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yep.
Well, I mean, for me, like I said, man, they done what they needed to do. It ain't gonna make me go out and buy a Pro, but for what they done, what they said outside of the whole, we maxed out 1080p TVs.
Yeah, I saw John
and then
Shaw
turn around and say,
about that on Twitter.
Yeah, it's like, well, I didn't even see John Shaw. I caught it right at. I'm like, what the world? How you gonna say we have maxed out 1080p and then turn around and say, well, just in case you don't want to get a 4K, this is what the 1080p can look like with this system. Like, I thought we maxed it out, so there's no point in showing us anything. You can't show us nothing that you already haven't shown us. So I don't know. That was stupid, but yeah, I gave it a B. I thought outside of Mark Cerny's robotic movements and twitching and
you're gonna like the PS4 Pro, I promise.
Yeah. Outside of that, I thought it was cool. I think, like I said this to D2K and I said to you, I think especially Nintendo can take notes from the presentation of how they share information with their fan bases.
And what's up with that trailer, bruh? Like, the trailer, they show all the videos, and then they show the trailer of all the video you just showed. There was no new footage.
They didn't have
trailer.
I didn't understand that either. I'm like, what?
I'm looking like, why did you just show me this trailer? There was no new footage.
There was probably something that was supposed to be in that spot, and they got messed up, and they had to fill it with something.
Bruh,
That's why we gave it a B, man. They didn't have the games. They already showed us the games. Like D2K said, they showed us all the games at E3.
But I'm sitting here like, and then they gonna end at 2:45. I'm like, wait, it's not even an hour. You don't have 15 more minutes of stuff.
They actually could have been. You talk about Nintendo could take notes. I think Sony could take notes. This could have been taken care of in a Sony Direct.
Yeah, bro.
I mean, yeah. I'm just saying. I'm saying as far as with the moderate gamer, they want to hear a few of these spec aspects. I don't like I said. Yeah, they gave some. Like
he didn't really go. I mean, he gave the general specs so that people like me can extrapolate from what he said and figure out what's really going on behind.
You know,
but
like
he said that the CPU is at the CPU cores are clock higher. He said the GPU
I saw that.
The GPU is double the power of the original GPU, it is a Polaris card. So it's either an RS 460, 470, or 480. One of those three.
But they didn't give no numbers.
Right,
like this is 5 quadrillion terabytes or
it's
a little bit of that.
But they didn't say it, but it was posted online afterward. It said it's 4.2 teraflops. I think it's like 36 compute units. And, they didn't mention memory. That's an interesting thing. They did not mention RAM at all.
I mean, they're already doing the 8.
That's the same though. It's the same
the DDR was 7.
No, they have GDDR5 RAM in the PS4 now.
5. That's right.
Well, I was just saying that with Nintendo, like this is one aspect of their showcases, like with their Nintendo Directs and they presentations that they avoid so hard. Like they do everything they can to keep from sharing small aspects of the hardware from a spec point of view. There's a lot of gamers, a lot of them have been conditioned for that type of narrative. Like, why you showing me the games? Why you telling me all these new ideas you have for the games? Also, let me know what's under the hood. Kind of deal with the GPU. Kind of deal with the CPU. It's something that Nintendo doesn't want to do, but I think it would serve well, unless it's a counter thing for them. If it ain't gonna help you, if it's gonna hurt you by talking about it, then don't do it. But if you do got the Polaris, if you do got all this stuff, kind of talk about it. Let them know what you're working with, like, in a casual sense, and move on. I think they should do that. But
and they do have a Polaris card in there, by the way.
Yeah, I believe they do.
So it's the stupid NVIDIA crap. Get rid of that.
So basically, K-Bum, you still ain't gave us your grade.
C minus, bruh.
C minus, dang, man. So we got a B minus, and a C minus. I would need John Shaw or Jedi on here,
bruh. Sony
fan. Try to get
that screen like.
I mean, it speaks volumes that I mean, you're a Sony fan. You're not a fanboy, but still, the fact that
if I had to, don't get it twisted.
Yeah, but the fact that you gave it a C, it's like
C minus.
C minus. That's like wow.
Anyway,
that's a killer.
That's cool. So he basically gave it a C minus. So anyway, I don't think we got much else to talk about. John Shaw didn't jump on. We hopefully we get on with Jedi Knight Sunday, because I told him we'd do this Sunday because we've been missing them the last 3. So we gotta do this Sunday.
Because we definitely got to get him on, because he knows more about this stuff than I do.
Right. So we'll try to do that Sunday. So tune in for a straight talk Sunday with Jedi Knight, my boy K-Bum20, D2K, and hopefully John Shaw. This has been the Live and Level Gamers podcast. I'm going to let these dudes sign out, starting with D2K.
This is D2K signing off until the next podcast. You guys take care of yourselves. Later.
K-Bum20.
For sure, this is K-Bum20 Pro coming at you with that upscale 4K game.
And this is coming from a Sony fan, man, so that's very interesting. So anyway, this is your boy Levelhead. Till next time, folks, I might do a Levelhead on the go. I hope y'all liked that last one I did. But I told
And
them to shut up.
one thing I wanted to add is I'm thinking about doing something on fulleffectgaming.com, cheap plug, fulleffectgaming.com, called Retro Gaming Fridays, which I'm going to be posting footage of basically retro games that we played in the past, and basically you can laugh at me struggling to beat these games.
Oh, dude. And I'm glad I was going to put some footage up of me playing the original F-Zero. And, dude, that game is still as hard as it was back then, man. But, yeah, go check us out, fulleffectgaming.com. Retro Fridays, whenever D2K get that going, we'll be sure to let you know. Also, we got other articles up. He got a good article up on what took place today, so go check that out. And this is the Live and Level Gamers podcast signing out. Thank you all for tuning in. Till next time, folks. Deuces.
Blam.